What is up, guys? Danny Carlson here, and this video is going to be about the one thing that I get asked the most from people who are just starting out with an agency or who are concerned before making that step to starting their agency, and that is how to get your first clients. And people always wonder, how do you actually get your first clients when you don't have any network, you don't have any testimonials, you don't have any proof you can actually do anything, and how does that all work? There's a lot of misconceptions out there, and honestly, there's some people saying some things that I don't agree with, like work for free and everything like that. Maybe in some scenarios that's good, but in 99% of cases, I don't recommend doing that, and we're going to get into that. Little side note here, hopefully my computer is not going to shut off because there's ants literally crawling out of my computer today for some reason. That is maybe uniquely a Bali problem, but there they are. We're all just scurrying around. So if my computer randomly shuts off, then I will continue the video at a later date. But let's get right into it here. So the number one obstacle people have to getting their first client is they're scared of selling themselves, basically. So I understand it. I had the same thing. I had a resistance to selling when I first got started with my agency, and it just felt weird. It felt like I was somehow trying to get something from the other people. And that's a natural human thing. That makes sense. But it requires a reframe. If you're going to have an agency or really any kind of B2B business where you have to sell to other people, then you need to get over your fear of selling. The way I like to think about selling is I really changed the way I think about it from one story. Basically, if you had something that was just a game changer, if you had a medicine that was going to cure everyone with cancer, you would want to get that in the hands of everybody, and you would do whatever it took to get it in the hands of your potential clients because it actually provided real value and changed their lives, right? So in that scenario, you wouldn't have a fear of selling because you legitimately believe that you're providing value. And you have to provide the same kind of insights to your own business. Whatever service you're offering, if you don't believe that it's going to provide value to your clients, you need to question whether or not you should actually be selling that thing to your clients. But if you honestly know what you're selling works, you are really good at what you do, and you are willing to stand behind whatever it is you're selling to get the good results for your clients that they paid for, then you should feel good about selling to your clients. You're providing something valuable for them in exchange for their money, and that is something that is going to increase the quality of their business. Whatever service you're providing is going to actually help their business and provide value. So that's the number one way that I recommend people get over selling is you have to go through the mental process a little bit. Do you actually believe that what you're selling provides the value to your clients? If not, then you need to work on it to a point that you do actually believe that. Number one, you start with, am I actually providing something valuable? So obviously it needs to be something not scammy, something actually legitimate. Number two, just do the work to honestly believe that you're going to get that result. And in the beginning, maybe you don't have a whole lot of testimonials or a whole lot of belief that you're actually going to get that result. So a little bit of fake until you make it probably has to come in here. But a way to get around that mentally is to fully stand behind whatever you do with a full refund guarantee. So if you're not sure that you can get the result, then you can promise a refund guarantee to your clients if you don't get them a certain result, right? That mentally gets it around so that if you don't provide the result, then you're going to refund them their money, right? I think, it's not necessarily a good thing to be doing going forward in your business all of the time, but just to get that belief in yourself and get your first product out there, I think it's a really powerful way to get around that. Another thing too, having business-minded social media. So become a producer on social media instead of a consumer. And if you have a personal social media profile, that is now going to be a business social media profile. If you're getting a new agency, a new business off the ground, then you're probably not going to have a whole bunch of money to throw into paid ads, and especially paid ads that may or may not work. You don't have a proven business yet, so spending a whole bunch of money on paid ads is not a good idea. And social media is one of the best organic, aka free sources of potential clients there is. So if you can take your current social media profiles and just be okay with making that your business profile, just business, putting all your business information on there, changing your profile image, changing your cover image to say what you do, and basically turning that into your business funnel, you are going to have a massive advantage over people who are just not willing to do that. So it's maybe a small sacrifice to make, but just become comfortable with social media now being about business, not about what your mom is doing on a Saturday night with your Auntie Debbie, right? And this is a big one here. Should I ever work for free? I do think there are some cases where this is a good idea, but anyone who is listening to this video that is thinking about starting their own agency and wants to work for free for their first few clients, I say it's a no-go. And I got a few reasons for that. Number one, if you are doing something for someone for free, they are not going to value it. So if you get them to sign up and you need them to take a few steps in order for you to provide their service for them, they probably have really low value for you because you're doing it for free. And if you need something from them to get your service done, they're not going to provide it for you in any timely fashion. They're going to be less cooperative than if they actually invested with you to get that service done. Number two is you're going to attract the wrong types of clients. So people who actually are your ideal client are willing to pay for something that's good. If it's free, that's probably a red flag. Why is this guy doing it for free? He probably, I can't expect any good results if he's willing to do it for free, right? And certainly myself, anytime someone offers me something for free, I almost always will say no for that exact same reason, is because I don't want someone tinkering around with my Facebook ads account or my SEO or something like that when clearly they don't believe in their value enough to even charge for it. And number three, it's not validated unless someone pays for it. If you're offering a service and you're not sure if the market really needs your service the way you're offering it or if there's enough demand for it, then the only way to verify that is to get someone to pay for it. And money really talks. You can get 10, 20, 30 clients to verbally agree that they will pay for something, but at the end of the day, that you cannot take their word for it unless they actually pay for it, because way more people will say yes in a survey type scenario, as opposed to when the checkout is in front of them, they have the invoice, and their credit card is out in front of them, right? So even if it's a smaller amount, then absolutely I think you should get paid for it, right? It validates that and allows you to get paid while you learn, which brings me to my next point. You might as well get paid while you learn. There's no reason why you can't just offer a smaller amount until you're sure that the value you provide is equal to what you're charging, and actually get paid to learn. Instead of going to university and dropping 50 grand, 100 grand on a degree and then trying to make that money back after, you can go through the entire learning process in a business with a new service that you're offering or anything new that you're offering and get paid to do it. Just offer something that you're comfortable, whatever equal value that you are giving to your clients, because it's still worth something, right? So I think that's a lot of reasons to not work for free. Sure, I think there's some scenarios where maybe it makes sense, like you get hired by your absolute, dream, like big influencer person who maybe can get you a lot of business down the road, or is like a guru to you that they're going to provide mentorship to you. That's, in my opinion, that's not really working for free. That's working in exchange for something of value, right? So those are some good scenarios, but all the people saying, should I work for free? I say absolutely you should not. Also, and when it comes to getting that first client, I think it's all about the DMs. So social media, what I mentioned earlier, getting all of your social media all about business, making some valuable posts on your social media and in groups and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to sending people DMs. On LinkedIn and Facebook, I think, are the two most valuable places to be doing this, depending on who you're targeting. But sending DMs to people who are exactly your target, if you have an optimized profile that clearly states what you do and shows some kind of social proof that you know what you're talking about, you've been posting on your own wall and stuff like that and been replying to people's comments in Facebook groups and things like that, then you will get your first clients without having to spend any money through social media. And I go through a lot more powerful ways of doing that on other videos on my channel, so I won't go into that too much here. But just realize that the magic happens in the DMs. You don't just magically start attracting people to you by just putting up posts and then hoping that the clients come to you. You put up posts and then hopefully the clients see them and they come to you and they'll engage with it. But you should be sending a DM to every single one of those people who expresses any interest in your services and offering to help them in some way, right? So open, genuine conversations with people in your niche through DMs on these social platforms. Don't just go straight for the sale and be spammy and offer your services for money right off the bat. Offer to help them or offer to take a look at their business in a helpful way and then see if you're a good fit, right? So that's a very kind of basic, summed up version of how to land your client with DMs. Another thing I'll mention here is freelance job marketplaces. This comes back to the getting paid to learn aspect. So really easy way to do that, just open some basic gigs on Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer.com, and sure, you might not make a whole lot of money on there because there's a lot of people overseas who are offering the same services as you for a much lower hourly rate, and going forward, I don't think it's a good idea to charge an hourly rate and really rely on Upwork and Fiverr. They take a 20% cut of all revenue that comes in, right? It's just, and you can't compete on someone who has like a $5 an hour or $10 an hour hourly rate on there ultimately. But in the beginning, it is a good way to get paid to learn, to get that original experience that you need in order to build out your agency and grow your team. So hopefully this video helped you out, guys. If you're looking for any more of this kind of stuff, check out the Danny Carlson podcast on any of the podcasting platforms. Talk a lot more about that and get successful agency guests on there as well. So hopefully this helps. Go out there and get your first client and let me know how it goes.